Okay folks, welcome back to Wooden Tool Man's channel. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit more of this blade grinder. If you haven't seen the other video on this, it's just a simple rig that I made up in order to be able to sharpen my blades. And the same goes true with this machine. She ain't pretty, but she works, and that's all that matters. So this was just something I come in one morning and I had forgot to send my blades away to be resharpened, and I needed a sharp blade, and I had tried to set one up before, and I tried to use my table saw is what I tried to do, and it just didn't work right. So I'd given up on it, and got a set of blades away, and this was a few months later, and needed another sharp blade. So I come in this morning and just nailed this thing together. Now the problem with the table saw one was that when you imagine this, you're putting this little wee 8-inch wheel inside a table saw. Well, you know how much you can get a 10-inch blade to stick out of the table saw, only a few inches. Well, when you're only using a 6-inch or 8-inch wheel, it was only sticking above the table saw maybe by an inch or so. And then so if you tried to bring this blade in to that at just an inch of the wheel, then it was coming in at such a weird angle that I really couldn't get down in the teeth right. And you can see the result of, you can see the chips out of this blade, this wheel. That was the result of trying to use the table saw. So I gave up on that pretty quick and kind of left it alone for a while. And then this morning I came back to it. And at the time I was working on a cherry kitchen, and I had a bunch of this edge tape stuff around. So I just kind of laid a bunch of it out. It was fast and furious the way it happened. And just nailed this thing together pretty quick, and I was amazed how good it worked. It got me out of the pinch, and I've been using it ever since. It's been probably 3 or 4 years now at least. And so the way that I built this thing was I did buy the diamond wheel, which was a fairly expensive thing to buy. It was $200 or $300. I just can't remember now. But I was paying at the time, I was paying $20 a blade, and I was probably getting about 10 of them sent away per month. And then it was the nuisance of sending them away. As you can imagine, you forget, and then you're in need of a blade, and you don't have a sharp one, so it just turned into a nuisance. So now, when I need a sharp blade, I can just come over with this thing, and within 10 minutes, I'm back in action. I've got a nice sharp blade to work with, and it doesn't cost me any money, just a few minutes. So this old motor came off a junk table saw that I had laying around here. I don't know whether I dropped it or something, I just can't remember, but it broke the fence up, I believe, and I just tore it apart and used the little motor out of it. And then it was just a few pieces of melamine, as you can see. And like I said, she ain't pretty, but she works, and that's all that matters. So now you can see the reason why this is built up. Now it comes in when you line the flat of this blade up, it lines up, as you can see, right to the center of that motor. And that gives the perfect angle, or gives me the most use of this wheel, because now I can come straight into it, and then it's going to give me the best angle to be able to sharpen with. So now I'm just going to set the camera up here for a minute. I'm going to show you a little bit more of this on how I'm adjusting this for different blades. So let's just say I had a different blade that I wanted to do. So what I do is come over to this thing. Now this is set up, you can see there's several different holes here. Well, if I tried a blade like this, it's not going to line up. The angle's not the same. So the way that I would line this up would, if I didn't have one done, I'd just come over here with my block. I would lay my blade on here. I would find out where it came out so that that was perfectly flat against against the diamond wheel. And then what I do is just draw a little circle. As you can see one there, I've already did a take on this, and it didn't turn out quite as good as I wanted to, so this is a retake. So you can see the hole there, so I would just take that away. I would drill that hole, the 5/8 hole, and then on the other side, I would just countersink it a little bit. Now these are all set up for different blades that I have around my shop. So this one's actually already set, so I just got to turn this around. As you can see, the bolt would come up through that hole right there. There's the hole that it goes by. And then I could do the same thing. Come in, grind this blade. And that's what the other video shows me, grinding one of them. But this morning I've got to cut a bunch of melamine up, so I need to sharpen a new blade for melamine. So I just thought I'd show you a quick video, because the melamine blades are a lot harder to sharpen than one of them bigger tooth blades, because the teeth are so close together. So if you try to do this, be real careful that you make sure that when that comes in, that you've got a little bit of space there, that's not touching against the cullet, or the inside of the tooth there of the blade, because that's what happened to this. I get into the inside because I was trying to do it on the table saw. It was such a weird angle, and trying to get it in, it just grabbed it and spewed a bunch of the part of the wheel off. Now it doesn't seem to affect it, still seems to grind good. There's enough of it left that it's going fast enough that it doesn't really affect it, but just a word of caution that if you're going to try this, be real careful that you get this set the right way. So now I've already sharpened a little bit of this blade. I usually just come in and put a little start mark, and then I've done the first quarter of this blade. So I'll grind a few teeth to show you just how this is working, and then I'm going to go to my table saw and do some ripping on there, and we'll set up to do another video. I got a neat rig there that I've made for the table saw, a power feeder, so you'll have to tune in and watch that video once you're done watching this one. Just a quick touch on each tooth seems to do it. Try to keep a pretty consistent rub on it. But this blade, I probably sharpened this one blade probably at least 10 times. I wouldn't be surprised. And there's still tons of carbide left. And it's been, I haven't bought a new blade since I built this thing neither. I had quite a few of them floating around here, and I've never bought a new blade since. I just keep resharpening them. That was the reason why I ended up with so many. I'd get to the point where I needed a new blade. It takes about a week for them to come back. So I would just go buy a new blade to have a sharp one. Well, now I don't have to. I don't know if you can see that. Just try to get a vision on them teeth. Pretty hard to. Anyway, keep tuning in. You're going to see lots of cool homemade tools. Hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.